Jabber talk, jabber talk, jabber 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 talk, jabber talk, jabber talk, jabber 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 talk. Miss Jabber, Miss Jabber, jabber talk.
Jabber Talk is sponsored by MargaretJordanCosmetics.com.
Well, welcome back to another very happy Sunday here on Jabber Talk on Colourful Radio, and I'm Jacqueline Malcolm, your host, yet again here enjoying the day, enjoying the beautiful weather. I'm saying that in good faith because it's probably a thunderstorm right now. I'm saying this on Thursday afternoon, and I'm sitting in a cafe, the New Roots Cafe, and I'm sitting with Alex Gyasi, Reverend Alex Gyasi. Now, you will remember him. We interviewed him a few months ago, and I'm gonna replay his interview. This is a fascinating man who has a heart to really help the community of London, and especially the homeless community. But right here on Caledonian Road, they have opened the New Roots Cafe, which is a cafe that is purely to help fund the work that they're doing with the homeless. And so you can come along. It is absolutely stunningly beautiful here. This is definitely a cafe that I would hang out in. And you've got to remember, I'm one of those girls. I love the Savoy, and I love Wolseley and Wellesley and all those lovely places. So this is a cafe that I absolutely would hang out in. It is gorgeous. And what I love more is Pastor Alex was just telling me that this was all done by the homeless men, both past and present, who put all this together and made it look so beautiful. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking because I actually have the man himself sitting right next to me. How are you, Pastor Alex?
I'm doing well by God's grace. It's good to come back again on your show.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Now, you may need to speak up just a little bit because I know there's a lot of stuff going on. I've actually come after 4 p.m, haven't I? So there's a lot of work. They're reorganising, they're setting things up because they literally just opened this week. So tell us a little bit about the New Roots Cafe.
Well, New Roots Cafe is a cafe that is set up by the Highway House, a homeless shelter to support the homeless. So basically, we are running this cafe as a social enterprise with all the profits coming to support the work of Highway House that provides accommodation for 50 men in our shelter in Tottenham and also 7 women in Islington. So we've started a new shelter for women, exclusively women in the borough of Islington.
Now that is fantastic because as people will hear from the interview, we had said that you can't presently look after any women because you can't have them all in the same housing. So how comes you've now got a place to house women? 7 women.
Well, that's an interesting one. We got a lady who read our article in The Guardian and then went on our website and read a story about a woman we helped about 6-7 years ago who was pregnant, a Polish woman who was pregnant, and came to us. We took her to the council thinking that because she was pregnant she would be helped. Unfortunately, they said the rules have changed, they can't help her. So we had to keep her, and we kept her for 6 months, and she gave birth, and we helped her to go back to Poland. And then she came back one day with her baby, walked right into the church service.
Wow.
And that was a wonderful experience. She's back now living in this country, working and in her own accommodation. But that's the story this woman read. And when she read that story, she was touched that there was no space for a woman. And we had to keep her in my office and places like that. And she was so touched and said, look, I have a property on Caledonian Road and I want to give it to you for a year just to house women rent-free.
Oh my goodness. So somebody read the article in The Guardian, read about the work you're doing, and they literally just donated an apartment for a year.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
With no cost attached.
No.
That is fantastic. And so now for at least a year you're able to help some women.
Yes, we've already housed 5 women already.
That is so awesome. You must be over the moon, and your wife Dorcas. You must both be so happy.
Very happy because it's a terrible feeling to turn a woman away, you know.
Right? How can the government even think about turning away, and especially a pregnant woman?
Well, they just simply said the rules have changed, and that's it.
Wow, I'm just shocked.
That's the reality.
Wow. Okay, so with New Roots Cafe, what is your vision for this place?
This place is put here for a reason, and we want to come here and build community. That's our first thing. But in building community, we also want to provide good healthy food. So most of the food is vegetarian and vegan food and stuff like that. So we want to promote healthy eating, but we want to promote community And so we are not just running the cafe, but we also have a space at the back of the cafe that we call a community space that we are going to give to the community to come in and do workshops, dance, drama.
That is awesome.
And as we speak, there's one community group, 3D they are called. They are the ones arranging the place now.
Awesome.
So they walked off the streets and said, we have a program today with 20 young people, but it's raining. It's supposed to be done outside, but we can't do it outside anymore. Can we rent your place? And
Brilliant.
I said, yes, you can use it free of charge. And
Oh,
so
wow.
that's why they are setting up.
You are so lucky.
Kids are about to come over, just like, you know.
Oh, okay, yes, we're going to finish. We're going to be finished in like 2 seconds. Okay, they're telling us to, we're not going to even edit that out. You see, you heard it here on Colourful Radio. Jacqueline Malcolm has just been thrown out of a building. Look at that. It happens everywhere. Okay, so what I'm going to do then, before they're just about to let some youth in to come and do some community projects, we're going to go to the interview so you can all hear the full interview with Pastor Alex Gyasi and the Highway House, and now they have New Roots Cafe and also the homeless shelter for women in Islington. This is somebody, we're going to put his details all over Facebook so you can contact him, so you can support him, so you can get behind the fantastic work they're doing. Right now I'm going to end this little chat and I'm going to get some photos of this place so you can see them. So make sure you go onto our Facebook, our Twitter page, and then you'll see all the images of this amazing cafe. New Roots Cafe, 346 Caledonian Road, London, N11DU. Excellent. Okay, well, here he is with the full interview. This is Pastor Alex Gyasi. Enjoy. So let's start first of all on the reasons why you've been on TV so much, because of your Highway House. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Well, the Highway House is a homeless shelter that we run for homeless people in London, which started in 2009 when we went out on evangelism on the streets of Tottenham and came across 2 homeless men who asked us for help. And by starting to feed the 2 men who eventually invited their friends and then grew from there, today we have over 750 people from 60 nations that have benefited from the project. From Asia, Europe, Africa, America, people have come from everywhere. And we've seen lives transformed, people getting back on their feet, getting their own accommodation, getting jobs, reuniting with their families. And it's wonderful to see that.
I think that is key for people to understand. Since 2009, you've had 750 people go through the doors from 60 countries around the world.
Right.
But the whole point is, a lot of shelters, which I love all shelters, anyone who's doing anything with the homeless is brilliant. But most shelters, they'll go in for one night and then they're asked to leave. Then they can go back, and if there's a bed the next night, then they're lucky, they get that bed, and then they're asked to leave in the morning. But with your shelter, what you actually do is, when someone comes in your doors, they stay there until they're fully rehabilitated.
Yes, the reason why we do that is that we believe in giving people real help that brings change in their lives.
Right.
And so we have people who come to us from the streets, who've been on the streets for a long time. There are people who are referred to us from hospitals. We have all the major London hospitals referring people to us who otherwise would have been discharged on the streets.
Yeah.
So when you get somebody coming from the hospital and undergone an operation,
right,
you can't give them 3 days.
You
can't give them a week. They need to recuperate.
Same.
There are those who come and they've lost their documents because they've been on the streets. They can't do anything. And so now you have to give them time to go back and get their documents again and things it takes. Sometimes you have to go to the passport office or go to the embassies.
So you actually get involved with them in getting their lives back on track.
Yes. So that is why it takes time.
Yeah.
And if you want to help people in a real
I think that is amazing. I think that's brilliant. And again, just so that our listeners understand, when you're talking about that they get to stay in your facilities, describe what your facilities actually are, because I don't want people to be sitting down thinking that you've got some lovely big house somewhere that everyone gets beds. Explain what you actually offer.
Okay, what we offer is our church hall space. Now that church itself is held in a warehouse. Okay, so we are talking of a warehouse space that we are using for church, and basically after church service we stack the chairs away and they actually sleep on the church floor. And the dominant thing that now we don't even roll out our chairs anymore. We only do it when we have a service because they sleep there 7 days a week.
Right.
So the greater
they need it more.
They need it more basically. So we only roll it out when we have church service.
You even actually had some showers installed, didn't you?
When the homeless people came round, we were trying to find a local shower, which we couldn't find any. So in the end, we had to take one of our toilets out and renovate it and turn it into a shower.
Wow.
And that was a turning point for the project, because when they started to bath, their self-esteem started to improve drastically.
You were explaining to me, even though you could receive some government funding, you purposefully don't. Can you explain why?
Well, I think government funding, by and large, comes with strings attached.
Yeah.
That's not what I want, because we help those who are falling through the net.
Right.
Anyone
right.
that comes to us is because they've exhausted every avenue.
Sure.
These are the most vulnerable people with no recourse to public funds. A lot of them.
So they can't get benefits.
They can't get benefits. They don't have an ID. They can't register with a GP. They can't do anything. They are crippled.
Wow.
And because of that, statutory bodies cannot help them, because they don't even have an identity. You don't even exist.
They just do not exist.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's where we come in. And so we help these kinds of people who don't have options.
It'd be wonderful if you could get government funding, but when you say about the restrictions that it comes with, it means that if someone comes knocking on your door who doesn't have their papers, who has fallen through the cracks, if you were having government funding, you would not be permitted to help them.
Not to help that kind of person.
And then they're just trapped on the streets because they can't afford to go home, they can't afford to go back to their country, but they're now in London. They've been permitted in London because they did originally have some paperwork that did expire because they couldn't get more work after their contract had ended, and so now they're suddenly in this desperate situation. And talk to us again about the young men who come, who are from different religions and different cultures, where it is almost a shame for them to have found themselves in the position they are.
What it is that when people travel, there is an expectation. They didn't come here to come on holiday.
This is it.
You have to remember that.
Yes.
Okay, a lot of people travel just to go and have fun and come back, but these people came for a better life.
Right.
They have wives, they have children, they have mothers, they have fathers, brothers and sisters.
All relying on
them. Sometimes they had to put a little money they had together to support him to come out.
Wow.
So when they come, there is an expectation they have to meet, and when they are not able to meet that expectation, they are not willing to go back home because it's a shame.
Devastating. So do you find that you're dealing with a lot of people who are on the brink of wanting to commit suicide or suicidal?
The sleeping aspect of the shelter started because somebody wanted to commit suicide. One evening he came into my office with tears in his eyes, and he told me a story of how he's lost his job, he's homeless, his mother is terminally ill in Poland, and he wants to go and see the mother. He's not in a position to go financially, and so for him, if he can't see his dying mother, then he would rather die before she dies, so that when she dies, he's not here to deal with it. And that was his logic.
Oh wow, that's painful.
And I thought, no, we can't let this guy go through that. So I arranged for somebody to give my wife a lift home, and I slept in that building with two of my elders, with 13 of them that night. I slept in the building for 2 days, didn't go home. Just trying to talk this guy out of his suicide bed, and eventually he came out of his suicide bed.
Wow.
But then that got me thinking that this rough sleeping is really driving them to extremes. You know? So I decided to give them 3 days a week to sleep in the church as an experiment. But then that was the winter of 2009, which was the coldest winter in this country for 30 years. The temperature started to go to minus. We increased it to 4 days. It went down again. We took it to 5. We went down again. We took it to 6.
Oh my goodness.
In December 2009, we took it to 7 days a week, and it's been 7 days ever since.
Wow.
We have a gentleman who came from Latvia, from the streets. We helped him, and now he's got his own building company and actually comes to employ some of the homeless people to go work for him.
Oh, wow. When I say you've been on BBC and Channel 4 and IT, I mean, I don't mean that they've just mentioned you in the news or something. I mean, they have literally come and done whole documentaries on the work that you're doing, because it is so powerful. Yeah. If you're listening in right now on Jabba Talk and you're listening to Pastor Alex, you can hear more about Highway House if you go onto their website, www.highwayhouse.co.uk, and if you're feeling generous or if you just want to give a little support, feel free to do that. So that's on www.highwayhouse.co.uk. Now, you'd think now that I'd go then to the 40 questions, but I'm still going to pause because Pastor Alex is not somebody who is lazy in life, to say the least. He's already helping the homeless men. I won't go into much details. Don't know if he's letting this chat out of this bag yet.
Yeah. I mean, it's not started yet, but we were fortunate to have somebody who was very sympathetic towards what we do, give us a flat that we can house women, because before then we were not able to house women because it was an open plan space. There was no privacy. We've got this opportunity here where we can house about 6 women at a time. That is quite a fantastic thing. And somebody that we don't know, who just went on our website and saw it and gave that donation, to us for free for a year.
There you go, you see.
So there are different ways of helping.
Yes.
People might not have money, but they might have property, they might have other things.
Exactly. They might have time. They might be able to just come in, volunteer some time. So yeah, please do go on the website. But this is the Jabber Talk, and I know I've been talking way too long to get to the questions, so we're only going to have time for a few of the questions. You know how it works. You've been listening every Sunday. What we do is we have our 40 questions, and Pastor Alex has not seen these, so he will pick a number between 1 to 40, and then whatever is that question is what I will ask him. So go ahead, sir.
13.
Number 13, 1-3. Describe your perfect day.
Perfect day. Perfect day for me will be a day that I can get up early, spend a couple of hours praying and studying the Bible. And for me, that beginning of the day is so important for me. Because if I miss it, it just disorientates me.
So you're disjointed for the rest of the day if you miss
that. I need
just
that.
a couple of hours of calm, with you and God. And
I need
brilliant.
that. I need that to make that connection early and get a download of what is ahead.
Brilliant.
And so for me, that is a very important thing to do on a day. And of course, to be able to see that my wife and my children, everybody is doing well before they leave, and I come to the office, find out what's going on with the shelter, and talk to some of the guys, about what they are doing, what their hopes are, sit with some of them and just find out about their lives, and talk to them and interact with them in a meaningful way. Pray with some of them who need prayers, some who need counseling, and just be there for them and really help them to feel that they are loved and accepted. And for me, that makes my day, to see a grown man who has lost everything, all of a sudden feeling that, hey, there's hope.
Wow, that is brilliant.
Things can turn around. And I see grown men sitting in front of me and weep, and say, look, I'm glad for this time. It's so important to me.
Right.
And for me, that would be a fantastic day. And just making different contacts with different people, because the work involves talking to a lot of people all the time.
Constantly.
There's a lot of talking involved, There are days that you talk and talk and talk, but there are days that you have a very, very significant conversation. A conversation that takes the vision forward.
Right.
The opportunity to just meet people and pour my life into them.
Yeah.
And
that is your perfect day.
That is really my perfect day.
We are so different. My perfect day is always about me. You know what I mean? It's like, you describe your perfect day. Oh yeah, I'll just get up and I'll just be on my own, and I'll just, get to just spend time just doing things that make me happy, and to go to the spa and do my nails, and you know what I mean? And that's what most people's reaction is. But your perfect day is always about, well, did you inspire someone? Did you make someone more hopeful? It's always looking outside of yourself. Yeah. And even as you were talking, your eyes were shining, and I could see it was an authentic, real, this is your perfect day. Okay, another number.
3.
Number 3. Cool. Who has been the most significant or influential person in your life?
Significant human being, I think, is my wife, for the simple reason that when I came into this country, I wasn't a Christian. I came here to make money. I came here to study banking with the hope of going home and earning big money and riding a big car and get a chauffeur, and that was my dream.
Oh wow.
I was working somewhere, and she works in this place to come and look for a job. We got the job. And we started talking, and she asked me if I would go to church, and I said no. And she invited me to church. And I went and I got born again, and a year later we got married, and she's been the backbone of everything I've been talking about.
Yes, really.
Up to now. So for me, for God to use her to bring me to salvation, to give me eternal life, I don't think anything can beat that.
Right, no, that's beautiful.
So
that's brilliant. Why. I've never heard her complain. You know what I mean? Like, so many wives would be like, okay, enough of the homeless men right now. Please, I want this and I want that, and you know what I mean? But she is like the most happiest. That's why I had to give her a shout out earlier. Every time I meet her, and I know it's not. Again, I know she's being authentic. She's not pretending. No. She's just happy.
She's happy. Yeah.
She's content.
Well, don't forget the first 2 homeless men we met.
Yes, it was her.
To kick off the project, she met them. She's the one who actually spoke and directed them to come to the church.
Wow.
So she wouldn't have done that if she
Exactly.
if
This
she-
wasn't her
no,
heart.
she wouldn't.
This is just her heart as well.
Yeah, I wasn't the one who spoke to them. She was.
Wow, you two are kings and queens, I tell you. You really are. You're amazing. Amazing. This is what I would call a power couple. If you are there thinking, what's it like to be in a power couple? This is it. They epitomize a power couple because it's all about just giving and releasing. And this is what I love about you two. I know even if someone did come and give you £3 million, which there are thousands of people out there who could turn around and put £3 million in your hands right now, today, with no problem, you would not change. Your perfect day would still be getting up, spending time with God, making sure your family are looked after, and then going out and spreading just life and love and hope. You wouldn't change.
No. Never.
The facilities of what you could do for other people would change.
Yes.
They'd be bigger. There'd be beds and there'd be more food and there'd be chefs
It would be better looking. Yes. Yeah.
But
at least, but not the core.
Not the core.
The core
You'd
would
have
be the
schools
same.
all over the world, but they'd still be in war-torn countries.
Yeah.
You'd still lay your life down in that
Sure,
area.
sure.
I mean, you wouldn't change.
Yeah.
Many would not change you.
No, not at all. And I think sometimes God will have to test you.
Right.
And
And you're ready for that test.
Yeah.
So yes, Lord, we say.
Yeah.
Pastor Alex is ready for a test of £3 million.
Yes. I need that test.
Yes.
I'm ready to pass the test.
Yes.
Praise God. Amen.
Okay, well, only because of time, I'm going to ask the final question. What song, has there been a song in your life that is really taking you through a moment in your life? Or do you have a recurring song that is your favourite song? Or is there a song of significance in your life?
A song of significance. I would say a song that talks about the faithfulness of God. How faithful God is to us as human beings, and his steadfast love.
Right.
The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. That is a song that resonates with me. Mercies are new every morning, great is his faithfulness. Because I think if it wasn't for the faithfulness of God and his steadfast love, I wouldn't be here. Mercies are new every morning. So it doesn't matter how bad the day was yesterday, there is a new mercy for today.
There you go.
Every morning.
Every morning. They are new. Every morning you're up. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that hope living and breathing in you, how are you going to inspire these 50 men
You can't.
every single day who you go and you talk to and you spend time with? And how do you inspire hope in them if you're not feeling that level of hope?
You're going to have a bad day. You're going to have difficulties.
Yeah,
you're going to
exactly.
have setbacks. You're going to have disappointments.
Yeah.
So how do you rise from that unless you are convinced that
Oh, I
great
love
is his
that.
faithfulness?
I love that. I do love that song. But Pastor Alex, I can't thank you enough for taking a moment out of your day to come and do this. So I hope you now appreciate people listening why people like Pastor Alex Gyasi, who totally surrender their lives to helping other people, and yet he is just a regular guy going around his regular business just like me and you. This is not somebody who is like a philanthropist, a multi-millionaire with loads of spare time on his hand. This is a man who still needs to make sure his kids get their education and they get fed and they get to school and his wife is taken care of. He has his own personal daily needs to look after, and yet he still has the capacity to do so much more for other people. And I think we can take a moment and look into ourselves and say, okay, look, is there anyone else? My family are taken care of, I'm taken care of. Is there one person? Do I have the capacity to affect at least one person? And then you'll find that one person one day will turn to two, and that two will turn to four, and that four will turn to 8. And before you know it, your legacy in life will be that you helped. You were able to help and motivate and just implant hope into someone else. So thank you again, Pastor Alex, from our hearts for sharing your time with us today.
It's been a pleasure.
Oh, well done. Well, please do go on highwayhouse.co.uk. We'll make sure we put it all over our websites and our Facebook and on Colourful Radio, klmission.com. And so anyway, this is Jabba Talk. I'm Jacqueline Malcolm, your host, and thank you from the producers, Marva Gregorio D'Souza, Carol Malcolm, and also the executive producer, Eva Christine Ingram. As you know, 4 of us sisters doing this work together, and we love you all. Remember, think of one more person who you can add to your day each day, and let that number just grow. Let's just go about helping each other and sharing hope. And goodbye from me, and goodbye from Pastor Alex. Goodbye. Okay, and have a fantastic Sunday. Thanks for listening in. Take care.